Hi, Shawn. Thank you so much for being here. This is From Start to Sold. I'm super happy to have you and get to know you more in this podcast. Again, Michael has been able to be with us, so we're able to open this up for guests. So thank you so much, Shawn, for being here today. Welcome.
You nailed it. I'm here.
Yeah. So just to say, a brief description of why we nailed this is because the last audio, I totally butchered his name. So I'm so sorry. I'm glad that we can laugh about this now. So thank you so much. So I guess, since you're here and I know that your name is Shawn, tell me a little bit about you and your background and what got you here today to be able to speak with me.
Okay. Do you want the long version or the short version?
We want it short, sweet, and simple.
Okay. So I'm a real estate broker. I own our home and company real estate,
Awesome.
which is in Bay City, Michigan. The story of how I got here. Well, I was a Marine. I was spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, got out, didn't really have a plan except didn't really want like leadership, anything. So I was working part-time, going to college. Then took a job at the Department of Defense and worked there as a contractor for like a year. And that kind of like led me to like, I was putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort. And I was like, I kind of want something to free up, maybe make a little side income, free up more of my time to work on like other projects as I was getting ready to leave the Department of Defense. So then I like dove into real estate. I got my license and I was like, this ain't going to take up that much of my time, right? Like it's going to be a side gig. I'll show like a house or here too, like no big deal. And we all know how that goes. Like if we're an agent. So I closed my first 2 deals and it, back then it was a little bit different. 4 years ago, you could negotiate, you could come in under asking, you get the best deal for your clients. And I like got addicted.
Yeah.
Like real fast. And I was like, you know what? This is it. I love this. Like, I'm going to be like a big real estate agent. And I just kind of like got that mindset right after my first 2 closings. And then by like January, February, I was like top producing agent in my office at that time. So, and I was taking everyone's, and that's just like everyone was giving me I don't want to deal with this client. I don't want to deal with this client. And I was like, I'm going to be the biggest agent this year. So give them all to me. I'll take them, like that's pretty much my story. I hit the FISBO phones pretty hard too. And that got me a lot of business. And again, that was just, you could do that 4 years ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
You could snag really good listings for sale by owners. And so, that led me to like where I am now. It just, that's my path. And then here we are 4 years later. I've been to a few brokerages and now I own my own and doing my own thing now.
That is awesome. I love knowing that you're a Marine. I think veterans are so important, especially not just for clients, but having to work in the real estate industry because we deal with VAs all the time. And when it comes to loans and whatnot, and this is something that we have discussed in the past of like potential, like good options for VAs and stuff. So having to know that you're in the that you are a veteran is just hits a little bit harder. So it's nice to know that. So thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
So, what you're in the Bay City area, the market up there is pretty similar. I know it's like a couple, maybe hour and a half, 2 hours away from me.
Yep.
I don't know. So I don't have anyone looking over there. So like, this is the reason, like why we set up a podcast, why we get together and try to connect, because the fact is like, guess what? These gas prices, the way that they are, I'm not fucking going all the way up there. I'm not driving. So guess what? Now I know to be able to refer someone up into the Bay City area. So this is perfect. I'm super happy to have you here. Cause like when I put this video out, everyone's going to be like, oh, wow. these real estate agents connect.
100%. Yeah. Yep. And again, just thinking back 3 years ago, like I would drive an hour and a half. You can't do that anymore. It's such and you would drive an hour and a half, you'd show 20 houses and you'd write an offer. If you lost that offer for whatever reason, you had 19 other houses that you could choose from to write out because it didn't go multiple back then. It's just so different now. And it's mind blowing how different it is now 3-4 years ago.
Yep, I completely agree. So I got in at like 2019. Everything was like pre-pandemic, and I was like, wow, like I have no idea how to negotiate. So like that was like a huge learning curve for me as well. So having to negotiate for my clients is like such a big thing. But like nowadays, like, do I even need to negotiate?
Yeah.
It's like,
You almost have to negotiate with your own clients to get them up to get the house. It's
yes, yep.
it's backwards. Yeah, it's crazy.
You're completely right. Yes, completely backwards and crazy. But, everything's going to change. Market always changes. Lifestyles always change. So I'm here for it. Whatever changes, I am going to stick with it. So I guess, like, what would you have to say when it comes to like owning your own brokerage? Have you
Don't
found
do it. Run.
Well, I'm definitely a newer agent. It seems like you got into this like, 4 years ago and you are a
Yeah,
broker now. So that seems like a pretty quick,
it
change
is.
in leadership, like a solo agent and working with someone. And then 4 years later, like you're already a broker running your own team.
Yeah, I think I'm the youngest real estate broker owner in Michigan.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I like I know like I post that on like my, but that's like a real thing.
Yeah.
Our friend, mutual friend Ryan Kelly, I think I just
Yeah.
took that. I just took that from him, I think.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
because
awesome.
I'm only 30, so
That's so awesome. That is so like honestly so rewarding to hear like someone just like work their ass off, especially like I'm 32. I got it when I was 28. So what, you were like 24 when you got your license?
no, I would have been 25, 26, I think. Yeah,
25. Well, that's
26.
still pretty young to get into the real estate
Oh.
industry, like even at that age. I have people everywhere like 22 up to like 25. They still think they're too young.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I follow 19-year-olds on TikTok that like are leveraging TikTok and they're crushing it. Like they're making more money than I am. And I'm the owner. Like, and they're, but again, it's price points too, right? Like I
Yeah.
have my first year in real estate, I had a average of like $87,000 in sales price. So that's way, I mean, people hear that and they're like, where do you even buy a house for $87,000? I'm like, come to Bay City, Michigan.
We got plenty of well,
Yeah.
not sure about now, but that reminds me of a girl that's up in Ironwood, Michigan. She had ended up hitting like so many like statuses within the brokerage and her price point 70,000. And
Yeah.
that's in a rural area.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I
those are
get it.
hard deals. Those are very hard deals to work because, and
Mm-hmm.
people don't think about that. Like my friends in your area,
Yeah.
they get these, that might be equivalent to like your 200,000s down there. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I only work with 500,000 up. I'm like, God, the people I would murder to get a $500,000 house is just, like they're going to make a Netflix documentary about me one day. If that were to
Yeah.
happen.
One man that killed someone for a $500,000 house. Yes. I love
The
it. I can
realtor
see it now.
murderer.
Yes.
Yeah, they're so hard because they're so like, like maybe their finances aren't the best, and like, so
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's where those deals that no one else wanted to deal with, that is where all of my experience came from. I can account for most of my experience, 90% of it coming from my first 5 deals ever in real estate.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
I
Swear to
love it.
God.
Yep. I mean, that's what you have to do. Like when you first get into real estate, like you are hands on, boots to the ground,
Oh,
just as much as like buyers trying to look at houses and you're trying to
yep.
find out everything.
100%. And like, I mean, just the crap I had to deal with. Like I had a foundation collapse on me while inside the house on the showing before like you go close, like the, pre-closing showing.
Mm-hmm.
I had a foundation wall literally cave in at the house. Like things like that probably no one's ever dealt with. Like I dealt with that. So like the story of how I got here is my first 5 deals in real estate. 100, hands down.
Yeah.
Like,
And the obstacles that you probably had to endure too at the same time. Yes. I
yep.
I could say the same thing. You're not really going to learn anything if you have the easiest deals.
Correct. You won't learn. You're just not going to learn enough. And like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think yeah, you're absolutely right. If you have good lenders, good inspectors, good title company, good partners, good vendors, you won't know anything about this industry. And like when I was brand new back then, I didn't have those things. I didn't know. No one taught me like, hey, like you need a good lender to partner with, like send some deals to, because they're gonna
Yeah.
be the difference between closing and not closing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Completely. Yeah.
Yep.
And having to find those right people to work with that you guys vibe with as well, that's pretty crucial. And that's what we look out for when it comes to our clients, and that's
Yeah,
why,
100%.
from start to soul of what the podcast is from the very beginning that we make contact with that person of like, okay, who are we going to be able to put into this person's life that's going to be able to benefit their transaction and have them have a seamless, transition. And that's the crap that we have to deal through, is like going through all the bad and trying to find the good for our clients. So
100%.
totally on the same page with everything like that. So I guess like with the questions that I have in front of me, why did you want to become a broker?
I am very, very bad at being told what to do. Straight up. I was like the worst in the Marine Corps of it. I always got in trouble. And like, I think that his name was Staff Sergeant Demetrius Jolly. He's deceased now. He did pass away, but he was like one of my very first mentors in the Marine Corps. And I equate my entire attitude on him. It's 100% on him. He did not take shit from anybody. He was just such a, like, you, as far as like Marine Corps goes, like if he goes into a house and he looks at everybody, he's like, hey, we're going to die, but we're going into this house. There's not a single person underneath him that would have ever questioned it. They would have just like, go gone. Like, we don't care. We're here with you and for whatever you need us. And he just had this attitude about him of like, I'm going to do things my way because it's the right way. And I took that, and that's how I was. And I actually lost a little bit of that. And then when I joined my first brokerage, which was KW, which is not a bad brokerage. Like, I'm not talking smack. It's just like the broker means a lot, I think, more than anything in this business, like more than people realize when you're at certain brokerages. It just wasn't there. Like, it was just personality clashes. And like, they couldn't help me in the ways I needed to be helped. And from that point on, like my first 6 months was when I realized like, I'm gonna own the biggest brokerage in the Michigan. At some point, I will own the biggest brokerage. And that just took me off on this journey of like, because in my head, I was like, they're doing all these things wrong and my way is the right way. Which I think that's how we all do it. I probably just have too much of an attitude about it. And that's, my self-growth. Hindsight's 2020, right? But that's just where I've taken it. So like, I've been to a few brokerages and like, I've always like, oh my God, I love the way this brokerage does it. Like when I was at Brookstone, like they teach like listings. Love that. I was at EXP for a little bit, and like, I love how, like, as a broker standpoint, not so much as for the agents, but like compliance, like it's a huge thing. So as a broker, like compliance is everything. So I took that from EXP and like how independent offices are ran. Like I took that from my best friend, Scott Brothers. Like, so I've taken all these pieces, I've taken my attitude and meshed them. And then here we are. That's pretty much the story of why, I guess.
I like it. I think that's a great story. You're kind of like a collector in that like sense of like, you don't want to portray yourself as like someone that knows it all, because you know what? We don't know everything. And I love that, because like what makes us so good is that you're able to learn from like so many different stepping stones in your life to be able to benefit others. So I highly respect that in so many forms and fashion. So round of applause for you, my friend.
Thank you.
So how long ago did you start this brokerage?
So I wasn't joking. Like, I've been prepping for this brokerage since I was a brand new agent. I finally opened my doors in November.
This past year, 2021.
This 2021 opened in November. So we're 3 months in. I'm like 5 agents deep, as it is.
Wow, that's awesome.
And yeah, I mean, and it's funny because like when you open your doors, you've got 30 agents all saying like, day one, we're joining your brokerage. And then no one does. And you're like, oh my God, I'm failing at this.
No.
And and that's okay. Like, I got to work out the kinks of being a business owner for 3 months before I really recruited.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I've been working on this brokerage for my entire career. My dot loop is set up for this. Like I've got all the training manuals. I've got script books for days. I've got Vulcan 7 CRM. That's all set up. Like this has been a work in progress for me this is the dream for me. Like, so I'm all in, everything is done.
Yeah, I like that because like throughout your years, you had put forth your systems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just assuming because it just sounded like you were just saying that you just put forth your systems in order for
Correct.
you to successfully run what you wanted to as of now.
Yep. And I did it all. So like a lot of people join a brokerage and they use the brokerage's systems. My systems, I built on my own.
That's
So like
awesome.
I never had, I mean, yeah, sure. When I was at KV or KW, we would use, dot loop. That was the thing back then. They
Mm-hmm.
don't do that anymore, I think. But, and, I was like, oh my God, I love this. And then I went out because it's $30 a month. I went out and got my own dot loop and I built it the way I wanted to build it, which means I write an offer in 7 minutes instead of 15, right?
Yeah.
Which is a lot of time in real estate. And so just things like that, just building upon that. And then I went to Brookstone from there and it was like, oh my God, I really got to build out my script book. They had
Yeah.
one, but I was like, hate it, don't like it. Love that they have one, but don't like theirs. So I'm going to build mine because mine works for
Mm-hmm.
me. And I can teach the one that I build and teach why I want it built this way.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, I mean, it just went on from there. And then like, with Scott, like I learned how to manage people and run a brokerage that's, some are 100%, some are on lead plans, like really tailoring it to the individual agent, which a lot of big boxes can't do. And I think that's the main difference is like, you're only selling one house a year. Sweet. Come to me because we'll tailor something for you, or you're a single mom and you just need to do this part-time to sell one house. We can work that. Like there's something for everybody and it doesn't need to be a one glove fits all.
I love that because you're tailoring their structure of business based on their lifestyle, essentially.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. I love that because, that's how I operate as well. Like when you say
Mm-hmm.
script books of like everything that you wanted, like I don't use any scripts. I read the person, I feel them out and I just talk how I want to talk. And, sometimes that's going against the grain, but hey, where
Yep.
are we going to
And
find
that's
ourselves if we
and
don't?
and that's the thing. And that's the cool thing about, doing that is like, that is, you say you're not using a script book, but I
Yeah.
guarantee you are internally in your head. There's a script in there that you go by.
Oh,
And,
for sure.
yeah. And it's just the only difference between me and you is I put it on paper to teach
Yep.
other people. 100%.
Yep.
The only difference.
Yes, because like, with any situation and anything that we deal with in our lives, we're always thinking of possible conversation that might come up. We're role playing something of like, what if this happens or what if this happens? I
Yep.
don't know about you, but like I for sure try to plan out if anything were to happen. Okay, what are my objections? And that could just be literally with anything, business, personal
Yep.
life, any experience or interaction that I may have with someone. So this is just a normalized thing that you just practice.
Yep. Yep. And it's just comfort. You just do it.
Yep.
It's comfort. And like, I have a script for everything. Like, it's not even just about like, I have email scripts. I have text message scripts, Facebook Messenger scripts, Instagram scripts. Like that was my whole thing was like, I understood that people are scared to get on the phone. I wasn't. I wasn't. Did I hate it? Yeah, I hated it, but I
Yeah.
wasn't afraid to do it. And I did do it. And I was like, man, if I'm going to build a brokerage, like I'm going to put forth the effort to teach people how to do it via text too.
Yes, exactly. Because I mean, a lot of people don't like to be called nowadays.
Right. 100%. I mean, there was a period of time there where I couldn't book a single FISBO appointment if I called them,
Yeah.
but I would nail it if I was able to text them and I just stayed consistent because texting is easy. It takes 30 seconds as opposed to a 5-minute phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I would book the appointment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just wasn't good at listing appointments back then. So I didn't list as much as I probably would now. But again, you got to do it. It's repetitions you learn.
Yeah, exactly. And then you change, what we were saying earlier, you change with the seasons, the times, and what your business is needing at the time. Like then
Yep.
we could work with buyers and it didn't matter if we had 20 because we all knew they were getting into homes. Now we can't work with 20 because we know maybe half are getting getting into homes.
Right.
Like that's the situation that we're dealing with. So having to change with everything, I think is perfect. So having to have your brokerage now and you're getting your feet wet and I mean, not wet. I mean, everything's new and everything's going to change and
Mm-hmm.
so much is to come. Like, where do you want to see yourself or where do you want to be in 5 years?
That's a phenomenal question. And here's what I tell the agents that join me, or even that I'm like thinking about joining me.
Yeah.
And it's a scary scenario that I play in their heads, but there's method to my madness. The question I ask is, how do we eliminate realtors?
Yeah.
How do we remove realtors from the industry? I want everyone here, like I'm gonna bring it up we have a team meeting on Monday. I'm gonna bring it up. How do we take realtors out of the game? Because if we're not thinking about that, Zillow will. They're going to keep trying and failing, but they're still going to think about it. And someone's going to watch Zillow and learn from Zillow's mistakes. And I love Zillow, by the way. I'm not talking smack. I love Zillow.
They're great for agents. I'm not going to,
Yeah.
hey, I don't use them. People use them.
Right.
Do what you got to do
They're
to
amazing.
leverage business.
And so I think that's the question that I ask. And that's where the path I go over the next 5 years. How do I make it? How do I become the Carvana of real estate, or the Zillow, the next Zillow? Because Zillow's come and gone, like whatever. It's just the cool thing to use right now. But eventually something's going to replace it. It's MySpace right now. It was the newest and it was the best. We're waiting for Facebook to come along. And when it does, boom, it's something the whole industry is going to change. So figuring out how to get to that point is where I'm at in 5 years. And building a brokerage for agents that like is administratively based, as opposed to agent based, I guess, is where I think we head.
Yeah, for setting up agents for success in the beginning of the business to have that support.
Correct. Yeah. Admin support I think if I went back 4 years, I would literally be a one-man shop with starting, and I would have 10 office administrators.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I mean, efficiency, in this business, we have to become efficient and work smart, not hard. So having that and trying to figure out like outside of the box of like, what are all of these other competitors trying to do to like, release all of these agents and, and it tackles the question too of like, why do real estate agents get such a bad rep,
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah, but so do car salesmen. And, but yeah, like you can go, and that's the thing. That's my argument is Carvana exists. You can get great deals on Carvana. There's no doubting that, but yet people still go to a car salesman.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that realtors are going to go away anytime soon? It will not happen. I mean, Amazon has been around for 20 years and people still go to Best Buy, because if you have a question, you can't call Amazon and get your answer.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that, but yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that.
I think just, along the sides of having to need agents, like a lot of these places, like they don't want you to go in with some like Joe Schmo, just two Joe Schmoes walking inside the house and be like, well, here's the house. We're not going to take anything, but thanks for letting us in.
Yeah.
We're not going to do anything to destroy the property that you're trying to sell because we don't have to have an agent now. Thanks so much. Stuff like that. Like, I don't think that we're ever going to lose real estate agents, but like, how are we going to do it to make sure that our client is more benefited and everything is handed to them more efficiently? So I love that idea of your brokerage and the way that you have it set up. And it's a great mindset to have, because why wouldn't we want our clients to experience that?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll put it this way. Everybody hates Quicken Loans. Name one agent that doesn't hate them. But like what I always say to the agents that say they hate them is they're the number one lender in the world.
Yeah. Well, Rocket Mortgage now, I can explain to why I can attest to that because of personal experience, but we won't have to go into that.
Right.
So,
no, and I understand. Yeah, 100%. I get it. But yet they're still the number one lender in all of the world.
Yes. And why
So,
is
I
that?
mean,
Because they have a database just as much as like Zillow does. Like they are constantly reaching out, they're staying
yep,
top of mind, they're doing everything double than what these real estate agents are. So like
correct.
let's get out there. Let's, I can't even begin to tell you how many times I have to stop getting notifications from Zillow, but yet they're still sending me them
Yep, 100%.
constantly.
Listen to Grant Cardone. He talks,
Yeah.
he says, if you get into his system, you're getting 10 emails a day, 10,
Mm-hmm.
10 emails, 10 texts, 10 phone calls every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep,
I truly
exactly.
believe that it should be, and like, I think that's how we do it. Is it like, if we open the floor, the best will survive, and you just have to be better than the other guy. Because sure, maybe he gets a little sales pitchy and he makes promises. That doesn't last in this market anymore. You
Yeah.
can't promise, and then under deliver and expect to keep that client. There's too many options.
Because now it's coming back to where, okay, so what is this listing agent really doing for me in a tough market?
Mm-hmm. Because if you see, we're going backwards because now the cell phone pictures are coming back.
Oh,
No one's doing open houses anymore. The fundamentals are gone because it was a
yes.
hot sellers market.
Yep.
The agents that kept the fundamentals are going to succeed when the times get, if the times ever get tough again for sellers, the fundamental agents will succeed.
And excuse me. And then the reason why we want to point out to like people that are listening to is that we want open houses. We want these homes to be exposed to the market for more than just 2, 3, even a week, like 7 days. Like we want it to be exposed to the market because a lot of these people that are coming through, there's a lot of emotions running through it.
Yep.
And a lot of the times that we're seeing the buyers that write in the offers that we accept super quick are backing out 50% of the time now.
Yep.
So we have a high filled, anxiety ridden, emotion type market right now.
Yep.
So a lot of these agents aren't taking the time to have the open house, properly vet these buyers, go through the
Mm-hmm.
proper channels, and stop being lackadaisical with everything that you're putting out there on the listing.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
So I
It's just,
think,
I don't even like now. There's so many houses where they're not even doing, it's one photo. It's
it's
one cell phone
crazy.
photo from the car. You're not getting like it, sure.
Crazy.
Sure. And what blows my mind is, I guess, like, how do that, I almost want to hire that agent because they've got to have like a genius playbook, because I know that the seller is like, why does Mary Sue down the road have these beautiful photos and you only have a cell phone picture through the tinted window in your car? And they're able to talk through that. Like, those people they're doing something. They're saying, I don't know what they're doing and what they're saying. They're going to fail out, sure, but like, what's the conversation now that they're doing?
I don't
That's
even
what I
want to
want to know.
know. I don't. I
I
don't
do.
even want to know because I don't even want to work with a person that's still going to be like, this is what you're using. You're not going to take pictures. Like if the seller's not questioning this agent, it goes hand in hand,
It's
you know?
crazy. It's crazy. It blows my mind. Yeah. And like, and there's still the same problems. We can't get a hold of the agent, or the agent has an attitude, and that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. But yeah, it's this is gonna turn,
Yeah.
and they are gonna be the first ones working at Target for 15 an hour. It's just the truth.
Oh, yeah. So I think, this is a crazy market, so hopefully it's going to change around. I can't tell the future, neither can you. As we all know, like we just want people to be active within the real estate market because it does help so many others. Like it really
Mm-hmm.
does help the economy keep
Yep.
moving, keep going forward. Yes, we know a lot of stuff's going on right now, but if you honestly are looking for any expertise or any help within Michigan or even in the Bay City area, reach out to Shawn or me. I'll get you connected. I would love to help in any way possible because there are issues that need to be talked about because a lot of
Yeah.
people don't talk about them. Whether you're an agent or someone that's trying to sell and buy, like this has to be talked to with an agent that can help you clear this up, no
Yeah.
matter what
Yeah.
the market is.
Yeah, that made me, and I think that's what made my name so big, was because I came into an industry where in my area. At that time, I was like the youngest agent around here.
That's awesome.
Which was like, because like the average age of a real estate agent in Michigan is like 53.
I thought it was 63. I checked. I thought like this last year it was like 63. It was like, oh, like
It,
retirement
it,
age.
yeah, and that could have been, like that. I think 53 is now,
Yeah.
because so it's coming down. But yeah, at that time, like everyone was old, and I was like the only one calling out the problems of the industry, and that's what made my name. Because like I would get on Facebook and I would run my mouth like how is it acceptable that I don't have a response from this agent that I've texted 5 times, and I would post the screenshots. I didn't care. And then people saw that and they're like, wow, like we got to use Shawn because like he's on top of that shit.
Yeah. And excuse me. And I completely agree with that, because like, why do we want to work with someone like that? But then also too, like, oh my gosh, this person's actually helping someone that may be having a difficult time in this real estate market. Like, we're going to allow this agent to still help the person. Like, how can this be allowed? Like, how can we allow ourselves to just have this go unheard and unseen? Like, there needs to be a time and place where you're like, nah, we're going to stop.
Correct. Yeah. And I think that my favorite thing about this industry is like we get to a point, and I'm looking at your numbers, and you're definitely there, is where there's things we can do to help people now.
Yeah.
That you can't do when you're like when I was brand new agent, I was broke. I had no money.
Oh.
and now I'm like, okay, this house is not going FHA, but like it's going to go FHA because you are living in a hotel room and you need a house for you and your kid. We're going to get you into this house. Like, I don't care about the commission check anymore. Like, it's just like, this has to happen. And you almost become like, for me, I'm almost like, I have to do the best job possible, because if I don't, she could go to another agent that's awful. And now she's in a hotel room for 3 more weeks.
Exactly. And that's a fear that we have, is like, we know we can get the job done. And it's that trust issue that we're trying to get past with these clients, because we're scared of what could happen if you do leave us.
Yep. 100%. 100%. And that wasn't a dig at you, like with the numbers thing. Like, that was a compliment. Like, you're doing
no, I know. I was like,
he
looked at my numbers. I'm like, I'm like, okay, good. Like,
you're doing
it
really
speaks
good.
volumes, especially if someone were to like look, go out of their way and look. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, everything takes time. Like, I hate to say that I got lucky in any way. It's freaking hard work.
It is.
You call people, you text people, you message people, you stay on top of mind, and you do what you got to do to make sure that people are happy.
Yeah.
I got into this business because I wanted a career and a life-changing experience. Now I'm at a point to where I want someone to have that life-changing experience.
Same.
And that's awesome.
And I'm in a position now to where I'm like, man, I love this industry, and I love like doing business with friends. And like, I know that if I hire them and bring them here, I can mentor and guide and help them in any way, shape, or form. And like, let's say they do awful, like they're better off than where they were at. even if they do all, like what is like the average salary for a real estate agent in Michigan's like 40 grand. Something like that.
It was like 40 to 50. Yeah.
Statistically, that's probably double what most people are making in Bay City.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, you want to double that and you're in Bay City. And you're an agent and you can definitely do more. I highly suggest reaching out to Shawn if you guys are watching this and listening, because just having to actually get to know you a little bit more. Like, we haven't even met in real life. This is the first time.
We just banter.
We do. And that's what I like about the banter that we have and the bullshit, because we can get along to where we have similar clients. I know that I'll be able to refer someone to you in that manner. Yep. And, real estate, yes, it can be serious and it could be stressful and emotional at times, but we like to have fun. We like to enjoy and crack jokes, because you know what? We do this all the time to know, like, everything that we do, you're going to be safe with us no matter what.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So like the houses that you sell, like the 3 times out of your life, just know we've done 30 plus in just 1 year.
Yep.
I mean, that's
Every
just
year.
solo, but your team that speaks different
Yeah,
volumes.
but that's the thing is like I've only ever counted like when I post my sales, I never post my team sales. I always just post my own. I
Yeah.
don't care. I've never cared what the team's doing. Like I have one agent, she like barely sells. She doesn't really have to. Like she's doing great in life. And like I'm so I like she gets all amped up and like on that one sale, and like I'm happy with that. Like
Good.
I recently told I was like she's been with me for like many years. So I was like, yeah, if you never sold another house again, I literally wouldn't care. Like I just like love having like your energy around me is like all I need.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe in the future she might take a plunge into that, because the fact is like she may want to see more value into helping
Yep.
people. Her lifestyle may change or whatever it may be, but she knows that you're still going to be there, and that's all that matters.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
and that is what is so important in real estate. So it's very admirable of you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess like we could just finish it up here right now. This has been such a great session and so many great discussions. Would you love to leave any of your listeners anything? I know you said that you had a grand opening coming up or something, or would you like to speak on that?
We're doing a ribbon cutting ceremony April 19th. The Facebook invites are going to start going out here soon. We're growing every day, and it's not just about like I think like the biggest thing, because like now I'm not really speaking to clients, it's more agents,
Yeah.
now I think that's who's really going to start following me. If
Mm-hmm.
you're struggling, I don't need to recruit you. I don't have to. I'm in a great position, but what I don't want is for you to not reach out to me and I can't get you the answers that you need or the help that you need sooner.
That's
Don't
awesome.
wait. Don't wait. Reach out to me. Like especially like no matter where you are. Like I have friends that are like Nick and Ryan. Like I'll refer agents to them all day. I can't help an agent down there, you know what I mean? But they can, and they will, as a favor to me. If I'm like, hey, this agent is at this brokerage, we're not trying to recruit them, but they need help, like they'll do it all day.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I know they're a great company and great people to have around. So
They love you, by the way. Don't let them fool you. They freaking love you. Me and Nick were
I
talking
know.
about you last night. We were laughing and joking.
I know. It's so funny because like when I first got into real estate, I was like, I'm gonna shake some shit up. Let's have
Yep.
some fun.
Yep. It's exactly how that's 100%. I've chilled out a lot. Like I think since you and I have become friends, like I'm a lot more calm and chilled out, and like I'm not, because now I'm like, okay, I've got a brokerage, like I represent a lot more people now, and like I don't want to piss certain people off, but and that now I just like now as I'm recruiting, like now I'm in the hate chat group chats again, and like I see screenshots of that shit, and I'm like,
well, like I told you the
oh,
other day, bad press is good press.
yeah, 100%. And it's like, you sit there, you got to be careful because you talk bad about me, and then they go adding me on Facebook and they're seeing that I am 100% commission brokerage and they ain't happy with you. Well, I'm buying them coffee the next day.
I love that. Hey, you said you hate me? Free coffee.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a great campaign slogan. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Shawn, for being here. I am super happy to have gotten to know you better and be able to help your audience in any way possible. Of course, we'll still be in contact. So thank you all so much for being here and listening from start to sold. And yeah, you'll have to definitely check this out when it's on YouTube next week. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Can't wait.
All right. Have a great day.
See ya.
Bye.